All right, guys, we're going to go into something pretty cool today. And for everybody who is looking to get webinar registrants, one of the best ways is to get them in through a low cost or a low commitment, I should say, low resistance, a very highly desired giveaway. What we would call a bribe, right? And so this could be done in the form of a PDF, a checklist, a case study, or whatever it is that's going to be able to work that fits what you're trying to solve, whatever problem you're trying to solve. Now, being able to make this a very valuable giveaway is going to be the key element to you getting the low cost that you need. Now, what we want to do is immediately, instead of taking them to a sales letter, after they opt in, we're going to then take them to a webinar invite. It's going to say, hey, thank you for your download. Here, come and check this out if you really want some more in-depth learning. Now, here's where it gets really cool. Some elements on that webinar page are going to be taught to you inside the academy that are going to get that conversion rate through the roof. Then we're not just going to let it kind of die out once they opt in for the webinar. We're then going to say, you know what? Let's put some specific elements on that confirmation page that could then possibly get you some results and some sales before the webinar even takes place. Now, how cool would that be for you to make sales to the people that might never show up at all because they be busy or they forget, and you actually can have an opportunity now to sell them on your products or services before the webinar takes place. Now, there's a couple different ways to do this. You could set up what's called a reverse tripwire, or we could set up what we have here on the screen, which is a confirmation page with a survey. Now, I like the survey if you're selling high ticket items. I also like the button to like a product, get them to purchase like a digital product, a low end one, because that's going to help offset your advertising costs. So it depends on where you're at inside your business and what kind of business model you have. But then if you look at what happens after they opt in for the specific bribe, we want to set up two different sequences. We want to set up a sequence that's going to obviously give them the download no matter what they do. But then we want to set up a sequence that's going to then take them to either some in-doc videos if they did register for the webinar as well as opt in. Or if that's not the case, we want to take them to a reminder sequence about the webinar after they opt in. Then you can see that we have a different angle that we're going to take each of these leads to go through. And the whole point of this is to get them to purchase and then tag them as an active buyer so that we can take them through an ascension process. So this funnel right here, this process, this little map right here is going to be shown to you right now in the same funnel that we're using, that we're doing this with ourselves. So after we get them to the webinar, then of course, like I said, the main goal is to purchase. But if they don't purchase, then we want to send them the post-objection videos and the post-objection sequence, which is what the P.O. stands for, post-objection. It's a two-part sequence that is you basically overcoming the most common objections that maybe would have prevented people who attended that webinar from purchasing, right? And now we want to be able to make sure that the whole goal of this bottom sequence is to get them to register. So the whole goal of the top sequence is to get them to purchase once they've registered, and the whole goal of the bottom sequence is to get them to register. Now, you're going to see that in a second how simple these things can be put together, and the results that we're seeing as well. So we're inside of my ClickFunnels account, okay, and you can see right here, BrandonSarah.ClickFunnels. We're inside of a case study funnel that we created that's taking people to the webinar invite. So what we're doing here is you can see the stats. We'll bring it up from, let's just say the last. We've only been running this since like I think a couple days. So let's see, like I said, about $200 worth or so. So what do we say? What's this month? This month is April. So I think it was the 29th. Let's go to the 29th to the 2nd. Let's just go ahead and do that. I think it was around the 29th to the 30th. So you're looking at 43% opt-in rate and a 47.5% conversion rate into the webinar. Okay, so think about it. In just $200, okay, and I'm going to show you that in a second right here. Okay, $294 has been invested so far into this campaign. Okay, we have this campaign spread across 3 different ad sets, and we have now inside here the dynamic ad set, or the dynamic ads. Now we're following the exact same thing that I shared with you from that map here. We have traffic coming from Facebook going straight to a landing page, which is a case study. The bribe is to opt in so they can learn how to get X result. Then we're going to invite them to the webinar. So let's check out the webinar invite now, because you guys have most likely, a lot of you folks inside the academy have seen. If not, here it is. So we have the very basic, look how basic this is, brand new case study reveals. We actually ran a couple of split tests on this headline. We had this one convert a lot better. This one has been steadily converting at 50, right around 47-50% for a long time now. So we figured, why not put a webinar behind this? Because what we were doing before was collecting an upfront basically 37. We were basically selling a $37 product after this, which was doing very well. But we wanted to see if we can actually, instead of getting $37 products, let's see if we can get webinar registrants and turn them into Academy members, right? That's the big goal here. So if we look at the investment here and think about it, okay, I wanted to do this as a test for you guys to show you. We're doing this obviously to get some registrants, to provide some value and to build our Academy. We also wanted to share this with you because think about it, with a $200 investment over, I think it's what, a 4 or 5 day, 4 days or something like that span, we're looking at 18 webinar registrants, and I think that matches up pretty close to what we see here. Sometimes they're not going to be accurate. This like, look, okay, we got 19 here. Okay, so actually it's more. We have more here. We have 19 here. So that would mean that the cost would be a little bit less. So what I wanted to share with you that if we can get the registrant cost lower, meaning that the front end cost is lower, then we're going to be looking a lot better. And if we actually take and break this down inside the dynamic ad set, you're going to see that if we break it down by text, there's going to be quite a few different costs here. Right, we're going to see that there is cost per result ranging from look at that, $4, right? So I'm actually paying for this specific text, and I think it's also with this headline too, right? Should be right around the same, let me see, $6. So we're paying a little bit under $5 per webinar registrant for this specific that text, and around $6 per webinar registrant when that text is mixed with this headline. So you can see that with these dynamic ad sets, we're now able to get so much more data. So what I get to do now is take apart what I'm looking at, and I'm going to create now the winning ad out of all these tests. I'm going to go ahead and take the winning text, which we know is from this ad set, okay, and within this ad set we have it going to this specific text. So we have the ad set, we have the text, we have the image, right, and then we have the actual headline. And when we look at the image, of course, you're going to see, look at this image up here, 755. Oh, that's much spent. Here we go, cost per result. See, so 599, 821. So these two, right? So the image here and image here are going to be the lowest ones, okay? So when you think about where we're going to be breaking it down from, it's all about just getting the data and then making it into one powerhouse ad. Okay, so breaking it down now, everything underneath here from in green to red is going to be inside your CRM. This is going to be all built out inside of whether it be, Infusionsoft or ActiveCampaign or GetResponse or something like that. But all this is going to be set up for you, and we have the training inside the Academy to walk you through each and every sequence. I wanted to really make time today to walk you through this process here. So when we have the landing page set up, which is what we have here, we have basic headline, hook, a little call to action, and then a graphical representation of what they're getting. And then we also have, of course, our policies and our privacy policy and our regulations, right? So that's all a part of this landing page. And then what's going to happen is once they opt in, they're going to get taken to the webinar invite. Now, this webinar invite, what I'm doing is a live webinar every single week, okay? And I'm only going to be doing this for about 4 to 6 weeks until I get that real solid pitch down where I know for a fact that I could turn this into an automated webinar and then a paid product. So I have a reason behind doing this like this. Now, if you want, you can do them as often as you would like. I do suggest the more that you do, the better you're going to get. But you also want to leave time for people to actually build up inside of your registration list. So what you want to possibly think about doing is once a week, maybe twice a week, every 3 or every 4 days or so is really what you want to be doing, okay? And that way, you never have somebody further than a week out registering for a webinar. Because if it's further than a week out, you're going to be forgotten about, and we don't want that. So take a look at this on the screen, and you're going to be able to see that what we've done here is made it very basic. Once they opt in, it's going to be, hey, thank you, you've opted in, it's on its way. Here, by the way, if you want a more step-by-step layout as to how to grow your current business, check out my upcoming free 2-hour webinar. Okay, how to start making real money as a service provider in just 6 stupidly easy steps. Join my webinar and you'll learn the exact 6 steps you could take right away to start making sales as a sales professional provider within as little as 30 days. And more importantly, how to keep the sales coming in. Very basic, very simple, to the point. It tells them exactly what they're going to learn and the benefits to it. Then we go into a brief intro, the date and the time, claim to join your seat, or click here to claim your seat. And then when you join me, you'll learn. And this is where we go into the bullet points. Okay, And then we're going to go to claim your seat. Watch how basic this is. There's no headline here. It's just literally name, email, claim your seat. Okay? Then what we want to do is we want to look at the next step for you, which is the confirmation. This is where it gets really cool. So some of the elements for you here on this specific page that you need to make sure you have is going to be an image of yourself, a short, brief bio, and then you're going to want to have the date clear as can be with your headline, the hook, and benefit. Get those things set up for you, and the bullet points, you are solid. Okay, that's what we want to focus on right now. In the bullet points, we have the formula for you inside of the headline lesson here in the academy. Okay, so how to write headlines that sell. That's where this is going to teach you how to create these headlines within the bullet points so that you can go do and get this thing to convert like how we are right now. Then what we're looking at is the confirmation. So let's take a look at this real quick. We have this webinar. We call this an in-doc. We call this in-doc number 1. Now, in-doc number 1, you're going to see is a 2-minute video that just lets them know this 4-part formula. It's what, why, when. The training on how to create the in-doc is inside the academy. So I want to let you know that in-doc video 1 goes here. We let them know, again, a reminder of the free training, the date, have a converter for the time zone. We're marketing to people in the UK as well. And then we have, be sure to set the reminder for your calendar. Your unique login has been sent to your email, and then RSVP on Facebook by letting me know that you're coming. What this is doing, it's creating engagement back to your page, whatever page or whatever post is on your page, the most recent one. And then you let them know if you'd like to skip to the head of the class, fill out this short form. Now, here's where you can have them fill out that form, right? So you're gonna say, hey, what would you rather have more training on? And then I break down the 6 steps, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? We have all 6 of these steps here that need to be done for you to be able to build an income online. Well, if they choose any one of these, and then it says, hey, if you can gain access to that specific type of training, would you get started now? And then they're either gonna say yes or no, I'm not that serious. And then they could say, okay, well, name, phone number, email. And then when you hover over the phone number, you're gonna see that it says, hey, look, only if you're serious about getting access to the training, you chosen the above question. So what we wanna do is make sure that now when we call these people, it's, hey, look, it looks like you're interested in overcoming sales objections. You know, I got something for you just like that, and you go into pitching and selling and providing value. And then you close and you generate a sale before the webinar takes place. Now, if you're selling something, let's say as a done-for-you service, perfect. You want, let's say, dynamic email follow-ups. Perfect. You know, are you looking to get that done for you, or are you on the webinar to get it done yourself? And they're going to say, oh, you know what? Yeah, I'm kind of doing it myself, but I would rather have somebody do it for me. You know, that's really cool that you mentioned that, because we offer that service, and, you know, I'd love to be able to hop on real quick with you before the webinar takes place and show you how we could actually serve you. That is going to be a great entry point into getting sales before the webinar takes place. Now, again, when we look at the stats on these things, okay, when we look at the stats, we're looking at a 43% opt-in rate let's look at from the dates again, right? So from the 29th to here, we're looking at, 43% opt-in rate, 46% conversion rate on the webinar. So when you think about, is this gonna work? Yes, and think about it this way now. I'm gonna end with this. When we look at being able to pay or invest, I should say, $200 into what it looks like to be 19 registrants from this specific campaign, okay? Now, this campaign, if let's say we produce a 40%, because I'm still gonna get, I imagine, some folks between the end of tonight and tomorrow. So, because my webinar goes live tomorrow with this specific campaign. And imagine, I don't know, I'd imagine maybe 25, 30, maybe 40, something, I don't know, between 25 and 30 people would register for that. If we get 40% show up rate, that's about 15 people. If I can convert less than 10%, right? If I can make one sale, if I generate one sale, right? If one person who attends that says, you know what, I believe in this academy enough to pull out my wallet, then what I've done here is I've actually broken even in the first 7 days of my campaign. And the next, every other month after that gentleman's a client or a member, I'm able now to be able to break that through and get everything that I need. So, all right, y'all can implement that immediately, and I will see you guys on the next training.